Hi, this is LG Lawrence Green, and today I'd like to talk about a topic that may be affecting you or it may not, but it's going to be important for building your team. And I think to some degree, everyone has these issues. And I'm going to talk about if you're an introvert, how to be successful in your business. One of the things that happens with introverts is they don't always get recognized for what they're capable of. Whereas extrovert is constantly doing their marketing and saying all their accomplishments and what they're capable of. This is usually where introvert might fall short. So I'm going to give you some examples I'm going to give you some examples of things you could do in order to market yourself if you're introverted. First example I'm going to give is three accomplishments is you want to be able to tell people three accomplishments that you have. You want to work on those. You want to be able to tell people about those, and you want to flesh those out and make them something. Introverts are not necessarily used to going out somewhere and saying, "This is what I'm capable of. This is what I've done." So rather than what extroverts will normally do is they're just natural at it. So an introvert can take their ability to understand themselves and be able to put that down on paper so that when they're out in public and they're working on a project that's important, you have a opportunity to make sure people are are getting the aspects they need in order to support you, in order to also figure out if they want to be involved with the projects that you're involved with. So for instance, for UNM football player, that was one of my University of New Mexico was a Division 1 football player. I had an opportunity to play there. I was fortunate. This is also an area where networking came in for me personally because I had a longtime friend. So we were ended up being as seniors in high school when I had to make that decision whether I wanted to go and continue to play football, and to take the opportunity to play Division 1 football. And I had met the guy that I knew. He had gotten a scholarship, and I had known him since the 8th grade, and we had remained friends, and we were connected, we were supportive of each other. And when we were senior year in high school, when he had his opportunity, he did me a favor by talking to the coaches and helped me have that opportunity. And then I ultimately made that decision to move forward, and it was an awesome experience. And then from there, I know so many people that I would never have been exposed to if I hadn't made that choice. I mean, in some ways, there's a similarity. I'm sure I would have met a lot of people in other ways, but I got to meet people. Some people that end up going into the NFL. Some people that really hold really good positions in the world today, and I got to understand what it's like to be in that environment because sports is a huge part of our culture, and it gives me something I can talk to people on so many different levels. And to me, it was an amazing experience. So that was one of my accomplishments. I was a UNM football player. What did it do for me? It showed me that I can go train, I can go figure out things, I can be a team member, i can I can feel physical pain and really emotional pain is what I've come to learn. I can go through situations that are tough and come out in a way where I I've handled the problems. I've walked through it. I've been somebody that's been dependable, and those are some benefits that I reached from being a Division 1 football player. Also, another experience I had, I was a private. I went to a private high school. Yeah, and I graduated from a private high school that was a really good school. I went to school with some of the most intelligent people in the nation, and they've gone on to do amazing things. I I mean, to me, it was natural, but I mean, there's also another opportunity there. I was networking there. I had a good friend that we were close to. We were at that age where you like to hang out with your friends. And what we and he was actually taking the test to go to that school. And when he was taking that test to go to that school, I decided to take the test to go to that school, and it also opened up doors. Um, One thing I liked about I've gone to both the private school and public schools. One thing I liked about public schools is a lot of times things are set out, and those were usually the activities we were asked to do were usually easy for me to do, and I usually made pretty good grades. But then when I went to private school, you had to think differently. It was a lot more reading, a lot more analyzing, a lot more figuring things out. And it wasn't just about finding like a quick answer. It was more about deep thought and thinking about your situation and what is meaningful about that situation. And that's been of tremendous value. I think that when I could be someone that doesn't learn from their mistakes. I experience mistakes just like everybody does, but then also I'm also capable of looking at deep thought, seeing the big picture, figuring out what this means in context to the rest of my life and how I'm different from other people. And really in my marketing has been great because I realized that I know how to move in different levels. I know how to think as a person that needs step-by-step instructions. And I know how to think of someone that has the big overview and wants to make decisions based on that. I mean, if you want to hire people, you want to really put everybody into place. You want to have all of these things going. You usually want to know the fundamentals and how things work. And then you also want to do the things that you can do, but then you also want to figure out what things can other people do. And actually that really brings into nursing. Becoming a nurse, I was able to take that education. I've been able to work with patients, been able to see how disease processes affect them, what they've been able to do based on like doctor's advice, and what they haven't been able to. Not only have I worked in the hospital, I've worked in the clinics. And I worked in subacute nursing facilities. So the beauty of that is I've gotten to see people when they come in the hospital. I've gotten to see people when they're healthy at home, and I've gotten to see people when they're not ready to go home yet, and they still need care, but they're not necessarily needing the hospital at that point. They're actually doing pretty good, but they're not necessarily ready for home. And those are really good levels to see. I actually was able to give someone some advice just yesterday when their father was experiencing some issues. They told me some of the symptoms. I told them a little bit about the department I had worked in and told them like what they probably can expect. And that was helpful. Um, so I think like people don't always know this about me. You wouldn't know these unless I chose to tell you. And learning that I do have some introverted tendencies, although I'm not always introverted, I can be extroverted. It's good to know that, and there's actually a really good list. If you like to hear more about the attributes that where you might be a introvert, extrovert, and the opposite, so you can kind of help yourself in those marketing efforts on the introverted level and the extroverted level and kind of have the best of both worlds. I'd love to give you some information about that, but I did want to share that with you today. So LG Lawrence Green. If you like to find more of me, you can find me on Facebook, LG Lawrence Green, and then also you can find me on YouTube, Green Law USA, GREEN LAW USA as my handle, and you can subscribe and hit the notification bells. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on uh, on the videos that I'm producing, the content. And if I can help you, I usually will be putting up some resources. Check out resources and let me know if you have any specific questions that I can lead you in the right direction. Goodbye for now.